Neil.
Yes, sir. Let's see, we will do roll call here. So Delvo,
Yes.
Schuler,
Yes.
Dorf. Not here. Dean,
Not here. Here.
Hinkvis,
You got it.
and Parma. Looks like not here. So we have 4 members. I believe we have a quorum.
Very good. All right. First thing is approval of the agenda. Motion, please.
I'll make
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Kathy, second by Matt. All those in favor, saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion carried. Regular business. Consideration with possible action to approve a 6-month planning option for redevelopment of the building located at 109 North Adams Street, Shower and Schumacher, and the alley of 101 North Adams Street, parcels 12-118 and 12-122. Neil, you're gonna kick it off? I read all the documentation, but Neil, please kick it off.
Actually, I'm gonna turn this one over to Rhonda, Mr. Chair, if that's okay.
Excellent. Rhonda.
Okay, I'm gonna attempt to share my PowerPoint here.
Looks like it's good. It's working. And drum roll.
Hey, very good.
There it
Are you
is.
seeing it?
Yep.
Okay, you are. Okay. Let me just make sure I got what I want.
What happened here? They bump it? They bump something? Shoot. Ditch the 40-minute limit. Is that supposed to be on there? Nobody else got that?
What's it say there, Gary? I'm sorry.
It said ditch the 40-minute limit.
Oh, it's just an advertisement probably for the Zoom connection. Yeah, don't worry about that.
Okay, I'm ready when you guys are.
Yep, we are. Except I don't have
Okay,
it on my
well-
screen. I don't have it on my screen now. Probably because of the message I.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Yeah. And look, can you try it again? Sorry, I got that message and all of a sudden I lost your PowerPoint.
Does everybody else still have it?
Yep, I can see it. Okay.
Yep,
Rhonda.
I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's gonna disrupt things too much, I printed out all the documentation, so you know, if you can't give me the PowerPoint, it's fine. I'll follow along.
Okay. Go ahead, Rhonda. I think we're good then.
Yeah, I think so.
So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of background. The first clip is just showing some pictures of the Shower Schumacher building in its current state, which is the 109 North Adams Street. Now, the 101 North Adams Street is going to be the alley that's right to the left as you're looking facing the property. The second picture is the lobby part area. And then my other couple of pictures are showing what the other levels look like and our rooftop.
Yeah, Rhonda, go ahead and advance your slide one. You're on your first, you're just on
Yeah,
your
you're
first
still on the
slide.
first slide.
That's, you guys, which one are you guys seeing?
Click, go ahead and click on the one with the photo, Rhonda. There we go. Perfect. There you go. Now you're up. There you go.
Okay, well, that's odd that you guys are seeing that. Okay. So next we're gonna go to the background history. And this property was originally built in 1930. The structure actually has 3 floors. It's been vacant since 2002, and it was acquired by the RDA in August of 2013. We did receive a proposal from the Really Good Idea Company, kind of an original name, you know. The renovation will actually be broke down into 3 phases. Their kickoff will begin with the front area of the building, trying to replace the deterioration of the limestone and refurbishing the original windows. Next, we'll begin the phases. Now, as I'm going through here, my next phases, I'm going to kind of lay out what they're looking at doing with the floors. So the first floor will be first floor retail and office space, with some storage that goes towards the back of the building. Next would be the second and third family size residential units. Now there's going to be, I believe it's 2 units on the second floor and a full unit for 1 family on the third floor. of the two developers that are part of this proposal, each one is going to occupy the property. So one family, they have some children, so they're going to occupy the top level. And then Joe and his wife are going to occupy the second, with another tenant in that second unit on the second floor. And then they'll wrap up with creating a rooftop terrace and creating additional space in the lower level area. And that a lot of it will be probably storage, but there will be some mixed use there. Their current proposal is to purchase the parcels, both the alley and the property, for $1 each for each parcel. The estimated cost of this restoration is 230 square feet, with an overall estimate of $2.9 million. They are going to be adhering to all federal and state historic guidelines, so they are going to hope to qualify for historic credits with the potential for TID financing, and the developer is actively pursuing financing with both preferred lenders and private investment. To accomplish their vision, they are partnering with Jennifer Lurkey, which is Legacy Architecture, and Jamie Blum from Immel Construction, which I believe both of them, plus Joe Zietler, are on the line here. So when we wrap up this part of it, if there's any questions, you guys don't hesitate to reach out to them. Our staff recommendation is to approve the 6-month planning option to the Really Good Idea Company, LLC, for the redevelopment of the properties located at 101 North Adams Street and 109 North Adams Street, with a status report followed within the first 3 months.
I think the other comments as well with regards to staff recommendation is, we also know that that alley plays a key role with the redevelopment of the corner building as well. So we want to continue talks with these developers with regards to that alley, whether it's an easement situation or how we work that ownership, because for the redevelopment of the property that faces Walnut, we may need alley access to that building. So we would continue talking with them with regards to that alley. And with that,
I think this
you'd like to
sounds absolutely fabulous.
they're here. So
Yeah, I think we'd like to hear from them. Entertain a motion to open up the meeting. Kathy,
Make the motion. So moved.
Second.
okay, motion and second been made to open up the meeting to hear the developer comments. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, meeting open. Jamie, etc. Please give us a little bit more details, if you will.
Yeah, so my name is Joe Zeitler. I know I haven't met most of you, but so I'm one of the two developers on the project. Between me and Justin Seidel, we've both operated businesses in downtown Green Bay for several years now, and my wife and I have lived downtown for about 6 years now, and we're just really passionate about the development that's been happening downtown Green Bay, and we definitely want to start putting our fingerprints on the development that's happening. Currently, we occupy our businesses in the Bellin building, so it'd be a pretty easy move for our two businesses. So we have two businesses that have employees in place that would occupy the office space, as well as some soft commitments from a few other local businesses that would occupy the retail space, as well as some more office space. But yeah, just in a nutshell, we're just really passionate about the area, and that building is just absolutely gorgeous. And once we saw it get split off from the corner building, it was a really good idea. And that's where the LLC name came from. Was, we didn't know what to call it, so we just called it the Really Good Idea Company. But yeah, that's us in a nutshell.
Jamie, do you want to add anything?
Sure, I can add a few things. We've met Joe and Justin on a tour of 115 North Adams Street, and they became familiar with the project and 115 and became a little more, I think, excited about what they could do in downtown Green Bay on Adams Street. So we're very fortunate to be able to work with them and excited to work with them. Immel Construction and Legacy Architecture have been fortunate to work on several projects together in and around downtown Green Bay. Pete's Garage over on Broadway is one of the projects we've worked on together. The downtown YMCA renovation we've worked on together. 115 North Adams Street we've worked on together. And then now 109 Adams Street would be a continuation of our teaming efforts. So we feel very comfortable, both firms working together. And we thank Joe and Justin for the opportunity to work with them.
This is an exciting project from my perspective, just to see the owner occupancy and building out that building, and having people live their homes. I think it does a lot for the city. So thank you.
Questions or comments for
Here.
Joseph? Yeah, please.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Chair. Anyway, being on council, I'm very much involved with historic preservation over time. I reside on the Landmarks Commission, so I'm very, very happy to hear that this project is moving forward. I just want to let you know that I lend my support, and I think knowing the council members, I have a feeling that this is going to be I want to say a slam dunk, but I don't want to count my chickens. I think it's a great thing, and that whole corner will be awesome. And there's some other areas around that area that I'd like to see redeveloped as well. So thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Alderman Steyer. I'm not sure I pronounced that right. Did I pronounce it right?
No, it's like Sawyer.
Okay.
Sadly, in German, it means tax. So I don't know. You can run with that one if you'd like.
Okay. Thank you, Alderman Sawyer.
Sawyer.
Sawyer. We got it down. Now we got it right. Sorry
like Tom Sawyer. Think of Tom Sawyer.
Now I got it. I want to write that down so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions or comments for the developer, Joseph and Jamie, or anybody else? If not, we'll make a motion to go back to regular order of business.
So moved.
Kathy?
Second.
Second by Matt. All those in favor of the motion to go back to regular order of business, saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. We're back to regular order of business. So it sounds like the minimum tax base we'd have here, when we're all done, is at $3 million. Is that correct? From the amount of money they're going to be putting into it? Is that
Based
right?
on the pure construction value, Gary, that would be certainly based on the construction value. That's would be most likely the assessed value could be lower than that. When we actually have some little bit more finalized plans and rents and those kind of information, we'll generally run that through our assessing office.
Yes.
Russ will give us a projection on what we think that's going to be. But based on if we just use just the construction value, it's usually somewhat less than the construction value as a general rule. So
it's an extremely exciting project. We've had this
Yes.
for a little while now, and so it sounds very exciting. That we have potential to get it developed, and we got some good folks behind it. I worked with Jamie and other projects and very familiar with them. With that in mind, any other questions or comments before I ask for a motion? Yeah. Oh, Matt, did you have something?
No, I didn't, Gary.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. All right. I guess I will entertain a motion then.
I'll make the motion to approve a 6-month planning option for redevelopment of the building located at 109 North Adams and the alley of 101 North Adams, parcels 12-118 and 12-112.
I second.
And then Debbie seconds it. We have a motion and a second to approve the recommendation of staff. Questions or comments? Cheryl, please.
Can we just add that we get a 3-month status update as well onto that?
You agree with that, Kathy?
See where things are.
Absolutely, yes, I'm sorry. And we can add to that with a 3-month update. So 6-month planning option update at 3 months.
Do you agree with that, Debbie? Do you agree with
I
that?
do. I do. I asked that they'll host a party for us though, when it's all done.
All right.
So I could see what it looks like inside.
Without doubt. Okay. Questions questions or comments in regard to the revised motion and second? If not, all those in favor of the motion, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you and good luck to everyone. It's very
Nice
exciting.
job, guys.
Yeah, this
I
is
appreciate it, guys. Thank
Very
you very much for
nice.
pulling this together.
absolutely,
Thank you very much.
Yep.
it's a great area. There's a lot more exciting things going around there than we're even aware of. So it's very exciting. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Well done.
Yes. Okay, so that's the only real order of business we have. Informational, and that next meeting is April 12th. I got a couple of things, Neil, while I got you aboard.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
Somewhere along the line, we did the update on the properties that we own, and a couple of Rhonda did a great job with that, and we appreciate that. The only other two things we always need to update is bond information, in particular bonds that we initiated. We'd like to get that updated as far as what the status of those bonds.
Mhm.
Now, of course, the TID updates, which are typically done when you report to the state. So somewhere along the line, get those on the agenda. They don't certainly have to be the same month, but in fact, probably preferred they are not the same month. So, but anyway, you're aware that, Neil, that we need to get updates on those two.
Yep, absolutely, Mr. Chair. Those will be forthcoming here, probably not in the too distant future, I would say. So.
Kathy, please.
The other thing that would be nice to have an update on is going back to the projects over the last 2 years and the things that are approved and dates the shovels might be up going the ground.
I have a
Projected
couple.
dates.
We've got the one I know for sure that we're looking at. I think the Legacy Hotel is looking at a groundbreaking probably here in April, we hope. So that'll be the first one coming up on the list. And hopefully some other ones. I think Tunin Properties is wrapping up some design work.
Right,
should
but
be
can we
looking-
get some projections? Because it is, because I know there's one down by West Mason where you go over, there was apartments going down there, and then we have, it would just be nice to have this is what we've approved, this is where we're at.
Absolutely. Well, and any excuse to get some gold shovels out, Kathy, we're obviously always in favor of that. So we're happy
I
to do those.
agree, and I gotta get those on my calendar, Neil.
Absolutely. So we do
Right,
know that,
Cheryl?
we can certainly provide a more specific update on those, but yeah, hopefully we will actually have some groundbreakings here
Yeah.
on a
Even
few
if
of
it's
them here
just a
coming up this
scorecard
spring.
every month.
Yep. Absolutely.
New approval, and we have a scorecard that we could just take a look at.
Absolutely.
I don't know, what do you think, Gary, or anybody
Yeah,
else?
it's great. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, any kind of update. And I know we talked about a spreadsheet somewhere along the line, and you mentioned reasons why you don't necessarily want to do that, but it would certainly be easy for us then to look at that and see what's been approved and what the various progress
What's
is.
yellow, what's green, what's red?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. So we definitely lost Bridget. She's off the committee. And
That's
sad.
correct. We are actively looking for a new appointment for her replacement. So if anyone has any suggestions, certainly shoot a note to either me, Cheryl, or the mayor directly. We would love to get a new person appointed, obviously, as quick as we can. Don't
Are
like
you-
have an extra seat open any longer than we have to, so.
Any specific skill sets, Neil?
Real estate, finance, any development background, I think this group is really, obviously really like the kind of the skill sets that this group brings, from business, real estate, affordable housing, general economic development. Those are all good backgrounds on there. So, someone who can actually, have a conversation on a development project, obviously, and kind of be able to stick in there and provide some unique perspective is certainly appreciated. So.
I know Bridget wasn't on our committee very long, but she was very good when she was on, so we're gonna miss her.
Absolutely, from
Yes.
her telecommunications and utilities background, that was absolutely a valuable perspective. Absolutely, Gary.
Being her new responsibility as the CEO of Cellcom, of course, changed everything. Okay, well, one other question, strictly curiosity, you know, the large Associated Bank parking lot that is gonna be developed hopefully in June, hopefully get some groundbreaking in June. Is that owned by the city or by RDA? I'm just more curiosity. You
I
know?
think that's an RDA owned lot, Cheryl,
I
isn't
think
it?
so.
Still officially it's RDA, I think, I
Okay.
believe, yes.
Just a curiosity, somebody asked me that question.
But I think
Alright.
we do have lease arrangements and things, obviously, that once we know the project's moving forward, we have to provide notice to those folks who are parking there and kind of start that notice process. So right now they are proceeding, still moving ahead. They are still dealing with a little bit of a financing gap because of just the increase in cost of materials. But last conversation with Mr. Mackham is that they were not concerned enough to alter their projected groundbreakings and things this fall. So still planning on moving forward. They're confident they're going to be able to overcome most of their concerns, and they're hoping that cost of lumber comes down a little bit between now and late summer before they start to help them out a little bit. But they are confident that they're going to be able to proceed at this point. So
Very good. Any other updates you want to give us, Neil?
I don't see Debbie has her hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry, Debbie.
Yeah,
I apologize.
I have a question on the partnership with the grocery store. Are they still talking to each other? What's going on with that?
Absolutely. They have, I think they are at a point where I think Ms. Yang would like to, I think is interested in signing a lease. I think the developer is ready, would love to do that right now, but until they actually really are sure everything's moving forward, they don't want to commit to that. But they are talking regularly, and they're both still, as far as I can tell, I think, as a matter of fact, I think Tara may have actually increased the amount of square footage she's requesting in the project. So I think that's the grocery component may be growing a little bit in terms of the overall project. So conversations have been all positive from what we've heard from both Tara and from the developer at this point. But so they're starting to figure out exactly when they can get that lease executed. So before it was interesting because I think the developer was more interested in getting one signed and Tara was still working on her business plan and things. Well, now they flipped. Tara's ready to go and the developer's like, well, okay, we want you to go and we want to get you on the bottom line. But got a few more construction details we need to nail down before we can absolutely commit to that. But we do know they are communicating regularly, and sounds like the project's even growing a little bit and as opposed to getting smaller. So it's a good sign.
Any other
Thank
updates?
you.
Neil? I'm sorry. At this time?
Just in general, I guess, obviously we're working with, from last meeting, great conversation on the 222 Cherry Street project going on down here, the Bosses building. So I do believe that Cheryl had a good conversation with Mr. Nugent about some affordable housing options there. We're waiting to hear back from them in terms of if there's a couple of units that he wants to work into the project. We're waiting to hear back from him there. Working with Mr. Barson on his term sheet for the North Broadway project in terms of including kind of both areas he was primarily looking at. Still working with him on kind of refining some numbers before that's ready to come back. We hope ready to be here by the April RDA meeting. We hopefully will have something back for that. We're anticipating on Broadway requesting that we transfer their option on the land behind the old Fort Square building to General Capital, the developer who's interested in doing the building back in that area. So that will be coming probably to this body, hopefully at the April meeting, just a request to transfer that particular option to that developer. We had a good conversation actually just this morning on the Hotel Northland lot, the gravel lot that's next to the hotel. We have brand new management, brand new owners representatives. They've had some changes there. So had a good meeting with them, kind of getting them up to speed on what the development obligations were there. They are, I think that at least when they left the meeting this morning, I think they're actively looking at probably requesting that some of that area be still left for some parking, but are very interested in kind of changing that into an outdoor venue to be used as part of the hotel. So we said we'd be interested in having that conversation with them and seeing a specific proposal from them. So they're going back and working on that and hope to have something back here, hopefully in the next month or so. So we're excited to have that and have them interested in going that route, because that certainly was never really intended to be a long-term parking area. And we certainly didn't mean it to be maintained unpaved all this time.
Right.
So it sounds like we've got the right folks who are in the room and are interested in moving that forward. So we're excited with that. I think I mentioned Tunin Properties they're moving forward. They've had a couple of good design conversations with our staff in terms of utility connections and some bike trail connections and how to logistically do the pedestrian connections in the development. I think so we're hopefully going to see them move forward as well. Had a good meeting regarding with Easttown Mall regarding moving forward on some pedestrian improvements in front of that on the East Mason site. So with the mayor, and with Public Works and with our staff. So we're looking forward to kind of bringing some of those forward through Public Works and getting some of those things installed here, planned and designed this summer. We did just get a note this morning that looks like I think the Port of Green Bay received a $1 million harbor assistance grant to help proceed with the kind of the additional investments to the port facility where it's going to affect the coal piles relocation. So more funding and more investment in that project. That was good news to hear this morning. And I think the last two, I think I said last time, the Shipyard Phase 1 improvements are on the street. Our Public Works guys are kind of taking questions on those design aspects right now and kind of getting those. We're getting some good questions from contractors, so that's a good sign. So, but we'll see obviously when those numbers come in to see exactly what the budget is for those. Those are all the waterfront improvements, the marina, the bike trail, the kayak launch, those kinds of improvements. So hopefully those will come in at or under budget. If it's a big enough project, hopefully we attract some good attention. And then obviously, I think you mentioned, Gary, we are probably looking at creating at least 2 or 3 new TIF districts this year. So in addition to reporting on the existing districts, we're probably going to be bringing a few new ones forward for you to take a look at as well. So
excellent. Wow.
Gary?
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Neil, I'm going to piggyback on what Kathy brought up before about keeping updates. And some years ago, when Kim Flom was planning director, we used to get a planning update, to council and other folks on projects, things that are being worked on and that, and just general information. And I found it to be very handy. And I was hoping that, with all the things you just mentioned and some of the things that Kathy had alluded to, it would be nice to have some kind of spreadsheet or reports, just something. Doesn't have to be really in depth, but just kind of talk about, the different projects and things that we're working on, not just RDA, but, anything with planning as well. So just something I like to throw at you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And certainly we've kind of reviewed that and done a few things in writing ahead of time, and we've kind of hit some snags. And I've talked to Gary about that in terms of maintaining the balance, in terms of obviously plan commission agendas are certainly established and those are always published and so forth. But
right.
Certainly if projects in these stages, in terms of they're moving forward, sometimes there's some confidentiality things going on.
Right. No, I understand.
We want to make sure we're able to answer your guys' questions, absolutely, and present that information in an organized manner so we can check back and refer back to it. We certainly think that's a good idea. So we are working on trying to figure out exactly what that should look like and kind of say, where you guys could be kind of like, hey, I've got, had a question on this one and I can kind of give you the high sign and maybe give me a call after the meeting and I can tell you what's going on a little bit if you had some information. So we certainly want to make sure we're tracking that and you guys have some information and you're comfortable with kind of referring back to that list. So at least maintaining a project list for sure. In terms of Kathy's, red, yellow, green idea is kind of a good one because we can do that and kind of say if it's, on track and if there's an issue, can kind of give you a reason to maybe kind of reach out and have some sort of update offline outside of the meeting if necessary. If there's certainly public information, we're happy to share that where things are at. But we're working on trying to kind of refine exactly what that looks like, Alder. So
and it also helps us be better ambassadors.
Absolutely.
In sales, because there are a lot of people that are asking what's going on downtown, and I love talking about it. So it's like, I don't know when that grocery store is going to open, but I know it's coming. So
yep, absolutely.
Just a little, because it only helps create, that excitement
absolutely
of downtown and what's coming.
Totally agree.
Alderman Sawyer, thanks for joining us. Made some great comments.
Yes, thanks, Mark.
Yeah, another thing too I wanted to mention is, I know we're doing a intensive survey of historic properties throughout this, the city. We haven't done that since 1989. And that could be incorporated as well as far as tourism, economic development, tours, whatever. I mean, there's a lot of different things we could do with that. So I wanted you to keep your eyes open to that as well. And those are things that I'm going to be working on and pushing too. So.
Alder, that's coming through landmarks, correct? That you guys will be
right. That'll come through landmarks, but hopefully we can cross pollinate on some of that stuff.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks.
Well, you and your staff have been extremely busy. Congratulations on all your accomplishments.
Yes.
Cheryl, you have anything to add to Mark, to Neil's comments? Okay. Joanne, is Neil getting us in trouble at all? Or you'll be able to keep him out of trouble?
Not yet, I hope.
Can you hear me, Joanne? Hope you're there.
Yeah.
Yep, hear you. Yep, nope, keeping him in line. We're doing good.
We need that. We need all the help we can get. Thank you.
We are actively working, Gary, on giving Joanne a little bit more time to look at some of these agreements before
Well,
they
that's
come
good.
forward.
That's
We're trying to start, get those in the pipeline a little earlier. So we're trying, we're trying,
Right.
and there's a lot of them coming, so.
I know. That's great. That means things are happening. Absolutely.
And
Thank you.
congrats, Cheryl, because I don't know how many proposals you've had in front of us for this building,
Yeah,
but this one is just the coolest.
Yes.
And Rhonda, kudos to Rhonda. She did the work on this one. And she's the one
Thanks,
that,
Rhonda. Well, thanks to the whole team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rhonda.
Our next meeting is April 12th, 1:30. I'm a motion to adjourn, please. I think we're all
So
set.
moved.
Kathy? And Matt, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Matt, by the way, in June, Matt, I'm going to be